Hi, everybody. My name is Rebecca Strelacki, and I'm the District Supervisor for Visual and Performing Arts for the Piscataway Township School District. And we are excited for our second episode of our new interview series called Arts Talks. And I'm here today with Piscataway High School alumni, Emma Broggi. And we're going to talk with her for a little bit and see what she's been up to and the things that she's been doing. And I guess we'll get started. So hi, Emma. And
Hi, how are you?
If you would just tell us maybe a little bit about, I don't know, yourself and when you graduated from Piscataway High School. And maybe if you want to just let us know what schools you went to in the district. We're going to share this with our elementary through high school students, hopefully, and it'd be cool for them to see, you know, where you went to school. Go ahead.
I'm Emma. I graduated in 2019 from Piscataway High School. So schools I went to Knollwood Elementary, MLK, Kanakamak, and the high school. I attend Rutgers University. I'm enrolled through Mason Grove School of the Arts. I'm in the Honors College, which adds a little bit of an extra requirement regarding some honors classes, a little bit of an extra thesis on my senior year, I believe. We had sophomore review last week where we declare our art and design concentration. So I ended up picking printmaking. So from then on, you just take more of those courses rather than photography, design, print, drawing, all those things. You take all of those, but you concentrate in a certain area.
So like an area of focus.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about maybe the transition from high school to college, or I don't know, just your experience in general being an art major at Rutgers.
Okay. So in high school, my art class was like that safe space, where I could breathe. I found a way to feel less anxious about certain things. I enjoyed math. I enjoy science, psych classes. I'm also major in psych as well as art. In high school, I enjoyed taking math classes, taking art classes, taking science, all those things. I liked having balance in going from subject to subject. With Rutgers, I don't know if this is like this in all schools. Your first year you go in, you don't necessarily pick your classes your first semester. So I was enrolled in 5 art-related classes, which is great because for some people it's like I eat, sleep, breathe art. I wasn't that person. I love it, but I wasn't all consumed by it. It was more my calm, my peace, it turned into a job, it turned into work. So I had a very hard first semester just learning to balance that art, life, homework.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that was a little difficult for me at first. When it came to the past 3 semesters, I've been able to pick my classes. So I balance having those art requirements and your studio classes, which are long, way longer than your hour in art class in high school. Right. Try 6 hours.
Yes.
Right? And also the psych classes. So now I have kind of an escape from the art as well as the fun part.
Right. But I think that's a real thing for anybody that goes into an art field. I think me too. I mean, full disclosure, I went to Mason Groves for music, and yeah, like that was my safe space, and I felt really happy there. And it wasn't hard. It was like, you know, I don't know, not work. And then you get to school, and it's like the thing you love so much is now actual, like, you have to get into the parts that you didn't care about before.
Yeah.
They're hard.
Like, I'm sure it's like that with music too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Music and art is very separate, actually. Like visual arts. Yeah. they're on two separate campuses, so you don't
Oh
really
yeah, you
see
never see anybody.
those. No, you don't see anybody. And with music, I'm sure it's like you have those fundamental classes. We had drawing fundamentals, visual thinking, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Right.
right? It's very boring at first, but and then you just go, okay, that's an easy A. I did that with Miss Amy in class. I did that here, so I know how to do some things, and then you learn some. That's where you meet your friends. Like it's kind of um, your your grade is there, and Mason Gross especially is kind of small in the scheme of Rutgers. Um, so that you have your fundamentals with the same group of people, and then you have those people that you text in your studio class like, what are you doing, what am I doing, this and that.
Right. Right.
So you kind of end up getting your group, your people, along with whoever you live with if you live on campus.
So you recently illustrated a book.
Yep.
Um, and that's really why I reached out to you. I saw that you posted about that, which I thought was really cool. And so I don't know if you want to talk about the process of that, how that came to be, and what that was like, and anything you want to say about um, illustrating something for a specific, publication, what that was like.
Yeah, it was a very cool experience. I've never done anything ever like that. Um, so the process started in May, I think. The author, Kieran Lenahan, I knew him from my summer swim club. Um, he was one of my like first swim coaches when I was like 11, 12.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
kind of cool to have like a mentor figure come
Yeah.
to you and say, hey, I wrote a book, will you illustrate it? And I said, yeah, like, of course,
Yeah.
because it's self-published. So we had, we could work on our own timeline. We didn't have to reach out to anyone else for like, we didn't have an authority person that we had to run
Like
things by.
deadlines and right, right.
Yeah. So Kieran has two kids. I was a college student. It just worked well for us. Um, it was the time of COVID, so we were working remotely. It involved a lot of texting back and forth, a lot of texting of pictures, drawings that I made. He calls his chicken scratch drawings.
Yeah.
Um, so I would send pages back and forth. I would redo them. We FaceTimed through maybe we took it like 4 pages at a time. He would brainstorm ideas, and then I would say, I don't know, maybe we should do this, and he would be like, okay, or vice versa. Um, it was it was kind of cool to brainstorm ideas of words that he wrote the words. I was just trying to bring them to life, right?
Right.
So and then it was cool to draw to fill an entire storyline up.
Yeah.
And then after all of the pages were drawn, um, we went through a couple of trial and error of photographing and then printing and then scanning and then printing. So we have a couple proofs that that just lie around and no one will see. And then actually I have it here. Here.
Well, cool. Yay.
Yes. And now it's on Amazon. And see, it has all these pages.
Amazing. Very cool.
And then a portion of the proceeds go to a organization, a New Jersey-based charity that benefits the foster care system. And so I guess the whole experience like also proves that art can do some good in the world, make a
Mm.
difference, and mean something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a cool experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Um, I remember that you, and I mean, this is just my memory from when you were
Mm-hmm.
here at Piscataway High School, that you were like involved with sports and you were involved with art and you were involved with like academics and just kind of like this all around student that just was involved in so much. And I think we have a lot of kids here, especially at the high school, that think about like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do when I leave here? I mean, I think adults think that too. I think
I was
that's
gonna say that sounds like me right now.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think for a lot of kids, they feel like they have to pick one thing and have that be their thing. Or it's hard to like focus on like how, their experience in visual arts or any of the arts can like stay with them following school. And I don't know if you have any, I didn't tell you I was gonna ask this, and I
Yeah,
just
no, it's okay.
but I don't have any thoughts on, like, what that is like to have a lot of passions and things that you care about, and what that could look like.
I think it's well, first, it's good to have a lot of things. I don't do sports at school, Rutgers at least. But I go to the gym. I'll do this. Um, having being good at writing because even though there are requirements for if you're going into the arts, there are those core requirements that you need. You're going to have to take maybe a math class. You're going to have to take expos or writing of sorts. And then even if you're not going into the arts, which wasn't my plan, it was actually the honors college that changed my mind into majoring in art. And also my parents kind of encouraged it, which I don't find is a normal thing for some parents to do. I think it was I was visiting TCNJ because my mind was set on Rutgers. I wanted to go to Rutgers. That was it for me. I live, breathe, and eat
Yeah.
Rutgers, I guess, since I was little. So I was actually visiting TCNJ and I was sitting in this, I forget what program it was, but we were sitting in a room and they were just talking to us. And I looked at my dad and he said, "You want to leave?" And I said, "Yes, I do want to leave." Um, and we ended up walking past the art building. And I didn't sign up to have my portfolio seen because still at that point I was not going to major in art. I think I was planning on minoring. So because I knew I still wanted to have it. I didn't want to give it up, but I didn't know if I was willing to go all in. Um, and we're walking through the art building at TCNJ, and I'm like, "Look at that! Look at that! Look at this! This is so cool!" And my parents are looking at me like I am insane because why aren't you doing this?
Mm,
And it took until then to figure out, okay, maybe this is right for me. Maybe this is something that will make my heart happy, and so on. And I think literally we're standing in TCNJ and there's a portfolio review at Rutgers the next weekend. And I signed up and I went, and and then that's a cool experience too, is seeing what your school's art program is like before you even decide to attend.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't think a lot of parents encourage their kids fully to major in art, study in art, go for art as a career, um, which I would say go for it. It's a fun experience. And I don't plan, even me, I don't plan on going to grad school for art, and you don't have to. Um, it's going to be cool I plan one of my majors, I'm studying psych as well. I plan to go to grad school for psych because that's what I wanted to do originally. And you don't have to give it up, one passion for another, which is what the point of our conversation was. But I will always be able to say, hopefully later, that I have a BFA in art, concentrating in print, right? And that doesn't mean that if I become a therapist, if I become this or that, that I can't have something on the side, which was probably my plan, is to sell or make for myself.
Mm.
So I think it's really cool to be able to do multiple things. And you'll find adults that say, "Oh, I don't like my job," and they'll quit it and they'll do something else, and then it's amazing.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point that sometimes, and I get it too. I'm a parent too, and my son's young,
Hmm.
but like you want there to be some security, and I think there's this conception that like the arts might not give you security in the future, like
Yeah.
careers in the arts might not be secure, and that's actually not true. And it's also not true that you have to there's many ways to be an
Yeah.
artist,
And I'll be honest, I believed that too. I'm like, what am I'm gonna make art and then it's not gonna sell, or the only feasible action course of career is becoming a graphic designer, or which I don't love making art on the computer. It's not my thing, which my roommate is a graphic design major, which is one of the reasons we are roommates because we bonded over art, and that's how you make your friends, like I said before.
Yeah.
Um, and it's hard to realize what is sometimes you have that stop in your tracks. What is the point? I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. What's the point? But then you go to class and I print at home now because we're all remote right now because I have to. Uh, and I'm making it, and then an hour goes by, and you're like, oh, and that's just that proves that it's right, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes, you're so right.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I get that. I so get that.
So you have to follow your heart sometimes rather than your head, even though that's hard.
Yeah.
It'll all work out. It will all work out. And then you also see professors in class. It's like, wow, you have this exhibited. Maybe you've never heard of you. You're not Vincent van Gogh. Like, just because you don't hear of a certain artist doesn't mean that you can't be successful
Mhm.
at the same time. I can't tell you the amount of times that there's like, I'm also in honors college. So when we were in person, I got to be in person for a little while, at least
Right.
one semester. And the first week of school, everybody's like, "Hi, my name's this. What's your major?" And then being in the honors college building, my roommate and I would want to hide in a corner when we said we're majoring in art, like because everybody's comp sci. I'm going to be an engineer. I'm in the business school, so you felt like not equal in a way.
Yeah.
But then you would tell people, "Oh, I'm an art and design major," and they'd go, "Oh my God, I wish."
Right.
There are people that want to be you. And it's really crazy because sometimes you're like, I want to be you. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I didn't do this. But there are some people that don't go for it or are not capable of going for it. Maybe they have parents, like I said
Right. That don't
before,
want.
that don't allow it,
Yep.
or they don't think that they're going to be able to find a career in it.
Yeah.
So that surprised me too when I went to school, is
Yeah.
people go, I wish I did that.
Right.
Um,
Two stories. When I first came home from my first semester, I was telling my like best friend, here's my course load. And like as an
mhm.
arts major, you take like one credit classes sometimes that are like multiple times a week, or it's just like there's like crazy amount of course load. And I was like
It's
telling her,
crazy.
I'm taking this, I'm taking this. And she's like, so like when are you gonna take your real classes? And I was like, these are my real
You
classes.
don't realize how much homework comes with it.
Hard. Yeah. Like I'm like, have you ever had to show up and like perform for people at like 7 in the morning and
And
like
that is so different too.
right.
Like, we'd spend a month on colored pencil apples in Miss Amy's. That has to happen in 1 week. I'm in relief printing this semester. My teacher, I love him. And it tends to be in a lot of classes where you start some new technique, new assignment, new something that the teacher asks, is anyone familiar with this? Have you ever done this before? And I tend to be like, yep, 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 I have. And with this print teacher tends to have one-on-one meetings, where you talk through the assignment or something like that. And he was talking about monotypes, which is essentially the jelly printing that we do in Miss Amy's class. I had Miss Sylvan my first year of drawing and painting. I had it freshman year, and also remember, when you pick your next year's classes. So I remember thinking, she was like, "I'm gonna sign you up for drawing and painting too," without even like asking if I really wanted to. I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Shouldn't I take something else?" I was worried about the requirements. And even with college, it's like that too. It's like you're worried about the requirements. I need to take this, I need to take that, I need to take this. So you don't think about what you actually want to take.
Mm.
Um, so she was like, "So you can follow you have those charts, right? With the
Yes. Yep.
progress of how you," she's like, "So you can follow to AP." And at that, being a freshman in high school, you say AP art. I can't do that. I can't do what's in the hallway, hanging in the hallway. And then I ended up doing it. Like, it's crazy. But the other story, I was I just remember that vividly. Her
Yeah.
being like, "No, I'm signing up for drawing and painting too." And I was like, "Oh, okay. And my dad was like, why not? And again, parents. Um, so he was talking. We had that one-on-one meeting, and I said I wanted to challenge myself again. This is me trying to be crazy. Um, where we needed to do just one print, or you could layer it with a monotype, which is the jelly printing Miss Amy does with started doing with us in AP. And I said, yeah, I've done that. And he goes, oh, really? He goes, and then he like stops in his tracks and is like, what high school did you go to? And I said, Piscataway. It's about 10 minutes from campus. Um, he goes, because every time I ask you if you've done something, you do it and then you do it great. And I said, I had a really great art teacher. And he's like, it sounds like it. So I just think you don't realize how much we do at Piscataway that prepares you. Um, I just thought it was really funny that he was like, what school did you go to? It was really sweet too.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. We have great art teachers here. We really do.
Hmm.
And I also
Even,
think like when I talk to other people in other districts, they're like, we don't offer that many electives.
hmm.
Like there's just a couple visual arts electives. So it's
Yeah, I have friends that are like, wait, I don't know. I was actually helping through like FaceTime with carving linoleum, and they were like, "How do you do this?" And I was like, "Miss Amy taught me this. Use an iron." Funny.
I love it. I love it.
That's
Well, I just want to say thank you for doing this and for talking with
no
us.
problem.
And even if it feels like I don't know, you've expressed that you're like, who am I to share this information? But
Hmm.
I think an important voice to share. So I
Definitely.
appreciate it. Yeah.